I'm Chiatunga Rebecca Juna, and today we discuss women in politics. It has been hot out there as FDC has had its issues. But we as women, we gather and say, what is our role as women in politics and being able to shape the narrative around women in leadership and challenge the status quo? Today, I'm joined with Sayun Helen, who is from the Democratic Party and also affiliated to the UYD as the Vice President. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Becky. It's been long.
It's been long.
Yeah.
I've been in spaces with Helen, and she knows when it gets to politics, it gets a little bit fiery because what's political is persona. Joanne,
Yes.
welcome to the show.
Thank you, Becky.
FDC OI.
One Uganda,
One people.
one people,
Two
FDCs. It's our slogan.
It's your slogan, but right now, you're no longer one Uganda, one people. You're two FDC, two people.
It is only those people who do not want us to be one Uganda, but we are one Uganda.
You're one Uganda.
Yes.
Joanna Matanzi is the mobilizer for FDC in Kira municipality, and that must be Semuju's good friend. And I'll start with you. What is happening in the FDC Sokoto Olga? What is there?
Okay, what is happening is we are waiting for a report which is supposed to be given to the whole country on the 28th, which is going to be this Friday. We are all going to be at Najana Nkumbi, and I want to take this opportunity to call upon all Ugandans, all FDC supporters, FDC leaders, chairpersons, different districts, different municipalities to come and witness this report by themselves. Do not wait for someone to come and tell you what was in the report. We are waiting for the National Council. It is going to give us a full report on what is being aired out nowadays, which is called the dirty money. That report is coming out on 28th, this Friday.
Okay. Why are you fighting?
We are not fighting.
Yeah. We saw people, jumping over the fence. We have had, your friend Semuju and Nandala give each other blows. A cold war. There is a cold war in the area.
Maybe according to people who are saying this, they might say we are fighting, but we are not. In actual sense, we are not fighting. We are only getting prepared for the elections, the delegates conference. And after this report, which is going to be given to us on the 28th, I'm quite sure everything shall be well. And even what you're calling fighting within us, it will stop on that day.
But what is the cause of the fight?
The cause of the fight, which is going on, it is the dirty money that you're hearing. Just like what other people are saying in this country, that Nandala and Poa got dirty money from President Museveni. This money was brought into the FDC during campaigns. And when most people, and I myself, requested for the source of this money, we were not told the source of the money. They were giving reasons why the sources were not told to us. So the reason of fighting within FDC, it is the source of dirty money. Yes, so because we did not know where this money came from. Another thing is accountability. We as FDCs, everyone knows, we need accountability. If you got money, you need to account for it. Let us know. We are all stakeholders in FDC. There is no one who is bigger than the other. If someone requests for accountability, you need to let us know. You need to account for the monies that you got. Even if it was small or big, you account for it.
Do you expect somebody that got from 7 to account for that money?
We don't know, but we need accountability. You should let us know if this money was given to FDC.
And when we talk about the issue about conflict, we get to see that issues around understanding the root cause should be more clear, because if you see that people are saying all the money, what is causing people to be able to go to the other side, which is the NRM, while still in the FDC to pick money? Isn't this poverty that is leading politicians to look for money?
Well, on the other hand, it can be poverty, but still, I think also greed for money. I don't think these people who got this money are poor. They are not. They are Ugandans who are suffering. They are Ugandans who are not even earning any penny. The Secretary General currently, Nandara Mafari, everyone knows, every Ugandan knows that he's capable of getting whichever sums of money that he needs. But there are people who are dying out there in Karamoja. Women are dying while giving birth. They cannot afford even buying mama kits. But people like Nandala and Power, and you tell me they are poor. These are not poor, they're only greedy. Yes, it is greedy for money, I should say.
Okay, I'll come to you, Helen. As DP, where is your roadmap? Where are you going as DP? Or have you phased out in the political parties we have in Uganda?
I think apparently we are running number 2 if we are to grade political parties.
DP is at number 2?
Yes. In
God.
terms of influence, because we don't count political parties, we do not count political parties in terms of the conflicts they have or how they go out there and shout, no.
Yeah.
Or political parties are supposed, especially in opposition, are supposed to be giving alternatives to the government. Apparently, we secured a seat on the table that makes decisions for this country. And apparently, I can say that we are among political parties that are set to table alternatives. For example, in the electoral reforms, in constitutional reforms, and that makes us rank number 2 because ever since, for example, we finished the 2021 election, we have not seen any political party that has tabled anything very important for us as Ugandans. So we are ranked as among the second most influential political party around, and we are not around to phase out. We are here and we are going to teach other political parties how to do politics because we've been here longer. They should just watch and sit and be ready to learn.
Oh, really?
Yes. You might be. You might be.
For example, what is happening in FDC, for us, we've gone through it and even managed to maneuver and you know, save our party. But apparently, I do not know the FDC, they are even ready to you know, reconcile and work on that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for us, we are here to show other political parties what to do.
What can the FDC learn from DP?
There is a lot definitely to learn. We've been here longer. We are fathers and grandfathers to these people. And we've been telling them, people listen and learn from us. And we show you what to do. For example, I do not know what is the cause of the Ulabaru in FDC. I don't even see. There is nothing a lot that should make you people make a lot of noise. Nothing new. For us in DP, we are saying that what you're going through is not anything new at all.
They've been there, done it.
And we expected it. We've been telling you that we shall know the moles with time. Maybe my president has been labeled a mole over since I don't know.
Maybe what.
But I'm happy the moles are coming out themselves.
From the FDC side.
Pola.
Becky, maybe what we can learn from them is after the 28th, and since there is a plan of this, because I know this is all coming up because the junta wants it. The beneficiary in this is President Museveni. Whenever we have issues in our parties, it is President Museveni who is benefiting. Now, since my friend is telling me that we should learn from them, maybe after this, the 28th, Nandala and his other colleagues will take the FDC to President Museveni. The president and the Secretary General, just like their president, Mao, and the Secretary General, they were all sold to Museveni.
What should Museveni use in Nandala for?
FDCs cannot
in fact,
learn
you're mistaking
such things. We cannot.
Museveni has been working with FDC for longer.
No.
It is just that the wind is too much now. It has blown. You know, like a hen. You can never
It
see until wind blows.
It cannot.
So now the wind is really too heavy that it has
We
blown
cannot sell our heads
out
to Museveni. That
So
one is out.
as for now, I do not think we should focus even on these conflicts. Ugandans don't need conflicts, and our political parties are made for Ugandans to solve problems for Ugandans and to show Ugandans what to do. The conflicts apparently do not help any Ugandan deep down there who is struggling with even basic needs. The conflicts in FDC or even any political party cannot help at all.
Yeah.
What is important right now is for the FDC two parties to sit down and reconcile and see where they went wrong. It's unfortunate that they failed to manage these things inside the house, because these, we believe, are bedroom issues. But they've not even taken them to the dining or sitting room. They're outside in the road.
In the neighbor's compound. Joan.
Not only in the neighbor's compound, but
Joan,
the pitch.
FDC has become a laughing stock from the DP. How best can we ensure that political parties as women, because as mothers, as sisters, we are the lawyers at the home, carry our lawyership from home level to take it to that unpaid domestic care work, take it to the political party and say, hey guys, stop fighting. Because it's the men that are fighting, it's not the women.
The women are part.
Okay, yes. DPs will not see us going to Mr. Museveni like they did. Us, we can't do that.
Where did that
I'm an
come
activist.
from?
What we are going to do as women...
In fact, let me just say this. You see these people?
I
have not seen any party that pretends an
to Museveni's hands.
Money came in 2021. This is 2023.
It cannot happen.
And this is when you're making a lot of noise.
Of course, what you didn't know, by the way, there were a lot of committees which were put to interrogate into this matter. It was not coming out. Not until, I don't know if you've been listening to what Dr. Kanukiza Besigye said in Katonga. It was not until Nandala and his other friends were moving around this country, trying to tarnish his name. They were telling people that President Besigye, Kiza Besigye, didn't support power during elections. Kiza Besigye promotes tribalism, which is not. They were saying a lot of things about him, and yet the root cause was about these monies, because there were committees which they asked them, you should let us know where you got these monies from, and they were not telling the public. Okay. Instead of them bringing what they wanted from them, they instead went around tarnishing Besigye's name, which was not good. But back to the question, how we can help mothers. Me as an activist, we have a plan of mobilizing different women in this country. We shall go on the streets, because the only voice that the junta and his other colleagues listen, it is violent. We shall go on streets and we ask for our rights. We demand for our rights.
Right to what? Right now, aren't you blaming Museveni? Because I want to even call him poor president. He's there in his NRM.
Poor president
dealing
Museveni.
with his NRM problems. Now you FDC people, with your problems that you could not manage, you're going to go to the street and tell him that he's the one disturbing you.
Of course, these people that we are with, you very well know, actually maybe you do not know, but what the narrative which is going on, it is him using them. We are going to show them.
But these are your people.
Come 28th, this Friday.
But how are you going to show the president when you've been around for a very long time? We're singing those songs, Tokako Bara Bara, Besijana Yingi, up to today. Noop has come, DP is there. You have failed to show the man. Isn't this like lying to us that,
It is actually not lying, because...
And there was walk to walk.
And why do you think he would ditch all those big sums of money into the FDC? Because he knows our power.
Where is the
he
power?
He knows when he does, is it division? When he divides us, he will win. He will get what he wants. but us, we are not willing to be divided. Like my colleague was asking, my dear friend, you are not going to see us divided.
Now, I just pray that this country gets to a level where we shall do away with the politics of maligning, propaganda, and you know, and all that, and
What
of
is
deception.
maligning? Prostituting.
What is killing FDC is maligning and you know, propaganda and deception. You know, they are the ones that started the propaganda that DP was getting money from the President Museveni.
But isn't it?
And I think it's high time we dealt away with this kind of politics because
give him information.
it does not put us
Please give us
anywhere.
information.
She just said that was saying that DP was getting money from where?
From the
President
president.
Museveni.
When we were going into the 2021 elections, right? There were 2021 elections.
Yeah.
I happened to be a councillor who represented Nigeria, was a direct councillor at Shira municipality, representing Nigeria village. But before, as we were going to Wakiso district, I did not have a car to take me there. I have a friend of mine, I don't know if he hears me say this. I have a friend of mine who purchased Mao's car on Museveni's money. And I'm telling you, truly speaking, I even have pics. I sat in this car before Mao and he took me to Wakiso district to be registered. I sat in the very beautiful pickup.
This is what I'm exactly talking about. And it's unfortunate.
And this is
that
the very person, who purchased it on behalf of who?
It's unfortunate
Mao
that even
him,
women whom we think are supposed to help the
this
society and chase away such
I'm not lying to you.
are the ones promoting
I'm giving
such.
you facts.
You cannot give me facts without bring documentations here. We do not speak facts like that.
I'm telling you.
Especially facts that have documents that can represent them. I know you can get a car even if you want it right now. You can walk to a bond and get a car on loan. That's why it is very hard now to get those cars with President Mao, because there were cars on loan and this was party loan money to get cars to run the campaign. Unfortunately, as I said, our country just survives on propaganda and deception. And that is how FDC has managed to be there for long. I am happy that now the bomb which they've been making to throw somewhere has again
hit them back,
burst in their own house. You know.
I wanted to ask you, Helen. You talked
Yes.
about propaganda, blackmail, and the politics that we have. Such politics are toxic.
Very toxic.
Very toxic. How do we ensure? Because we want to see very many women in politics
Now,
and in leadership. How do we ensure that we do away with politics that are toxic? Because if instead of serving the people and addressing the people, we are in toxic debates and hitting each other in different ways, how best can we as women ensure that whereas the men are there fighting their toxic politics, we as women can work together in inter-party to ensure that the needs of women are addressed?
Now, that's why I said that it is very unfortunate that my colleague here, who is a woman, and I expect them to be advancing facts and politics of reason, ideas, and working for people, is also here maligning my president that she sat in the car that was going to be registered and it was from President Museveni. It is really very unfortunate. I hope that Uganda comes to a time where we shall have politics of clean debate, politics of clean ideology, politics of talking about things that affect our people. Unlike nowadays where people want to talk about eating and eating and eating,
Yes.
So I think it should start within our political parties. First of all, our political parties should build ground to lecture and to inform people about their ideologies. I think it all started when we lost direction at giving people our ideologies and wanting to jump around and around. Politics of bandwagon, politics of abuse. I think that's where we lost it at. But I believe if we woke up tomorrow and FDC starts telling their people that this is what we believe in and we learn from it. She was asking me that we don't go on the streets, and I was telling her the ideology of my party is not that. We believe in dialogue, we believe in reconciliation, we believe in formulating policies and tabling them. and telling people, look, this is what we believe in. And I've seen, as you've seen my President General, he's busy out there representing us very well. Unlike other parties where their ideology is just shouting and shouting. But I have not seen shouting yield. You know, for example, we've had elections for, I haven't really been here longer, but I believe we've had many elections, you know. But elections have not yielded. People have gone to streets. Streets have not yielded. What else are we remaining with? We must look around for another way of dealing with our problems. We cannot just sit back and continue taking people to streets and being killed and, you know, being hurt. That is not, I think, the way we should go. And as women of this country, I call them to the table of reasoning. We need to reason out issues the way they are supposed to be. Unlike leaving things to go just the way they can wish to go, because apparently I think even the opposition heads that we would believe in would give us solutions to things have just chosen to sit behind and watch. And I will give an example of NUP. Really, when NUP came to power, I came to be lead of opposition. I was very, very expectant. But you know how many people we are going to lose politically because they've lost hope.
You're disappointed in them.
Very extremely, you know. We are going to lose people in politics, reasonable people, because people who put their backs out there, people who put their heads to reason out things and to run all over the country, supporting a political party that we thought would yield. You look at a person like Lina Zedriga. She's one of the best that NUP has had. But they fail to utilize her. They fail to utilize their knowledge. You look at Flavia Nabagabe. She's Nabagabe, yeah. Those are women that should be out there shining in parliament. You look out at this former journalist, the lady, I'm talking of the lady, the former journalist at NBS. Joyce Bagala. These are women that should be out there, you know, shouting and you know, shining out there and giving us alternatives as women of this country. What should women do to rise up? What should women do to take over spaces that are influential? But the politics of the country has deteriorated that you cannot even when they table anything, you cannot hear it anywhere. You must really do enough research and sit down to dig deeper to know what they are even doing. We cannot know, because the politics is dirty all over. We are really thriving on murky waters. So we must go back dig into our political parties and for some of you who have influential positions in your political parties, do not allow political parties to go into this chaos of, you know. For example, I wonder why Semujo would be out there shouting that Nandara should bring evidence of where he picked the money from. Yet he knows that most of the funders do not even want, even if I gave FDC 10,000, most of the funders don't want to be mentioned out there. Nevertheless, there should be political party ways. In your constitution or in your code of conduct, there should be ways through which you ask for accountability. You cannot run to NBS or to a hall in Zambia to ask for political parties accountability, a political party that sits in Nanjanangumbi and you know there. A whole spokesperson?
Do the political parties that you're serving in have accountability mechanisms in terms of character, in terms of financing, in terms of even reporting structures of if you are discontented with a person, where do you go to report as a woman? Because if we can see that within the men, then what are the women going through?
Yes, political parties have those structures. Political parties have working, for example, we have a working women's league. We have finance committees in our parties, and that is their role. You can go through your women's league to ask for accountability from your parties. Accountability is for members, not for individuals. It's for party members. For example, if I woke up tomorrow and I want to know how my party has been spending and receiving money, there is a way I should behave. You don't just start busting in public and you expect the party to respond.
What if those structures are not working?
Then if structures are not working and you have been in the system, then you also have a problem. Why Are we asking for accountability of 2021 in 2023? Why didn't we ask?
Can I answer?
Did we have really to wait for
Yes,
this
you
long?
please do
Can I
answer.
come in? But my sister Helen, you said here that it started from the bedroom, and you were asking why now Semju is going to NBS. Because it started from the bedroom, and no answer was given.
Went to the sitting room.
Yes, to the sitting room, then outside.
To the neighbors.
Yes, hope I've answered you well.
Are FDC reporting and conflict resolution mechanisms working as for you?
Sorry?
Are FDC reporting or accountability reporting and conflict resolution mechanisms working for you as members?
Of course they do work for us.
Now, if they're working
They
for
cannot
you, why
work
are
and then
they
you're in
out?
public out there.
Why is Semuju your friend out? Together with Nanda.
I have just answered. It
And
started
you see the
from
problem of
bedroom.
FDC is
It
bigger
started-
than what we see. It's bigger than the accountability
Why
they are
do you
telling
want
us.
to spade?
Among the problems
We are
that you
FDCs,
people have,
we know our issues. You
if
FDC,
you want
you
to know that
issues
political
concerning
parties have
DP.
problems, there is also founder syndrome killing you people.
Nothing.
That is why you have, when you have problems, most people will run to Kasangati as if there is a solution center in Kasangati.
They run to Kasanga to do what?
To find solutions. For example, I wouldn't have expected Besige
You have
doctor,
false information about what
Besige
you're
Dr.
saying.
Kano, to run on a TV to give a press that would even instigate the conflict the more. His role was to sit back, call these people, and reconcile them. But calling a press conference and then you start adding chili in a wound.
Can I give you information? Besige does not hold any position in FDC.
Yes, but that's why
And
I'm
now
talking
here
of the
you are,
founder
you're
syndrome.
saying they run to where?
Why should
to
he
Kasangati.
doesn't hold a position, but why
He
is
does
he all
not-
over media
he does
instigating individuals?
I'm telling you, he was coming to clear out the space.
Do you know, as a
Nandala
founder,
and group were moving around the
and
country,
as a founder,
telling
he has
people-
a leeway to be listened to.
Yes,
and that is why
and he
will
was
continue to
asked in
instigate.
this saga to also give out what he knows
He
about
did not
what
have
is
to do
called
so.
the dirty money. He also
He
brought
didn't
what
have
he
to do
had
so.
and gave it to.
Besige,
He doesn't have to do so.
Did not have to do media. Besige had to sit back in Kasangati, look for a venue, call these people and reconcile them. As an elder,
So he has not called them.
The role
He
of
has not
elder,
called
you
them.
do not go public.
They have met several
The role
times.
of
I'm
elders,
giving you information.
he's also,
They have met several
do you know
times,
he's also
several.
being castigated
And
of being money
Besige
and
is
he,
not a leader. He's just
you know, he's
an
also
FDC
being
member like
castigated
me.
of being given money and he brought it in bits, the 300 million. You know, if people are the ones giving us information, we are not there, but we get every information. You know that he's
You have so much hate on Besige and Semuju.
No. That one is actually.
But that one should be
That
out.
one is an elder
Besige
who
doesn't hold
I
any
respect
position in
Besige so much.
FDC.
I respect
Besige
him so
is
much.
an elder,
But
whom we
he should
looked
have sat back
into
and
in
not
politics.
come
He
to
has
media to
inspired us a
castigate
lot.
individuals.
We need to respect him. We don't need to move around the country tarnishing his name. We don't. The
Let's
NOP
go
guys
to-
respect Besige.
Do you know
Even
that,
the NRM respect him.
you know the Baganda say asili sete
Let's go to DP. We have dwelt a lot on FDC. Do you believe DP sold out?
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
They are
What's
sold
it?
out.
What's
You're
it?
hearing what she's saying right now. That they are number 2. Who ranked you to number 2?
What was the
Can you please?
Mao's
I
homecoming?
actually wanted to ask her that
Mao's
question.
homecoming. Is he getting back into standing as an elective politician? Because he says he's going to bring back the national dialogue and advocate for the national dialogue. Was that the leeway for the NDP? Is that for the DP? Is that something that you see that will work for this country? With him joining active politics, is he coming under the DP flag? Which flag is he coming under?
Norbert Mao is the president of the Democratic Party. You know that very well. And our constitution says whoever will be the president will run for president of the country. That is our constitution, which we do not tamper with and which we do not contradict. Unless National Council sits and says, yes, this term we're not going to maybe put a president. That one can work. But I can still tell you that he's very outstanding out there and carrying the DP flag. As I said earlier, political parties are not known by their names. They're not just supposed. It's not about the number of buildings you have in Kampala or even the smartest office you have. A political party should be about fronting people's, no, not even numbers, fronting solutions that can help to curb problems in the society. Not even about numbers, that one, no. You can have numbers, but when you're not doing anything, when you're just getting iPod money and eating.
NUP has the largest number of MPs representing us in parliament,
what has it influenced?
Followed by FDC.
What has
and
it
I hear
influenced?
you telling us your number 2. I want to know from here, who is ranking DP number 2 with one MP in parliament?
Which one MP? We have, actually, we are an East African party. We have an MP in the East African Legislative Assembly.
Do you know how you got that one, that position?
Irrespective of how
it was after NUP.
When we were starting the show, I told you that it is the government that you people castigate every other day. And I love the Besigye's interview very well. He mentioned it
was after NUP defecting to
I loved
his if you
that's when
you got that.
If you listened to Besigye very well, somehow he said that you cannot. It is the government that labels even people to go to get positions, and I love it very well that FDC has over 30 MPs, meaning he was telling you that even the 30 MPs that FDC has, it is the government that gave you the MPs.
Which is okay.
And for us, we openly say yes. So when I'm telling you that we are the second
even
at ranking, we are telling you that we are seated.
Even the newborn knew that position you got it after
we are seated
defecting to NRM.
You know, we have had an MP in East African Legislative Assembly before. We fought for that position. We went to court. We took government to court to get the MPs there.
Which government? Your government?
We took the NRM government to court to get a slot there. We did not get it on a silver platter. And these are things that I keep telling you guys. You must fight for what you want, but fight it in a right way. We went to court and sue government and told them, look here, you cannot have all the 9 MPs from NRM. Yes, sure. You must get closer and tell somebody that this is what we want.
Oh my God.
But when you're on those streets and, you know, people are being shot at and being knocked and being killed, and still nothing is getting there, it doesn't make sense at all. We've been doing this for long. We've been on streets.
You want to tell me
I will
by
give you
Mao talking to President Museveni, you will get what you want.
Let me give you
and
some
history. And yet President Museveni is telling us that he did not just come here. He didn't just take power on silver platter.
Some history here.
Is that what you're trying
to
mean?
Some history here. You know, we are the ones that branded the Kojukatako campaign. Wasn't the constitution not amended?
It was.
So what did you FDC do after that? We are the ones that started the People Power movement with the UID reunions. And People Power and NUP came into existence, and they started lying to us how they were going in Montebe. Up to now, they are seated in Kamocha.
They didn't go into Montebe. They are still going.
Up to now, they are seated in Kamocha. Not even taking a step to walk to there. At least people did the walk to work, though it disappeared. But this one,
it took President Museveni how many years in the bush
from 2021
to come and take power?
They
how
have
many
not
years
walked there.
Did it take?
Okay, tell us
President
which bush
Museveni.
are you people? Which bush?
Well, no, I'm asking because you said these NUP guys.
We want solutions to the problems. We do not want to keep listening to words.
By joining President Museveni, there are solutions are going to come.
There are solutions that we are going to get for this country.
How many
We want to try. We want to try every other form that if things fail, at least you know you tried all the avenues that were available. But you cannot keep utilizing one avenue. We've tried elections, put candidates in every position, run even for president. I was part of the President Mao's trail campaign for 2021. We have done elections. We've gone on streets. All that has failed. Let us try to do dialogue. Let's try to do reconciliation and tell the man, look, can we work this way? I think if FDC should look around on ways of harmonizing, because if all those avenues have failed, what next are we remaining with?
Okay.
Shall you just keep behind seated and making Museveni agenda when he's not going anywhere?
And you still have hopes when President Museveni owns the electoral commission.
Mm-hmm.
He appoints the judges.
Mm-hmm.
He owns all the guns in this country. He does each and everything that he wants.
Okay.
You're not even requesting him for reforms
So.
before we even go to the next election.
So okay, I love the fact that you know that.
him
I love the fact that you know that. So you as FDC,
for the electoral,
you as FDC, what are you doing to
independent.
make sure that that doesn't happen?
Sorry?
What option do you have?
Of course, our MPs are
Doing
these MPs
what?
that we send in parliament.
Doing what?
They are talking of reforms.
Reforms when every day your MPs are order procedure. On nothing, order on nothing and procedure
we want
on nothing.
electoral reforms.
And where are you going to get electoral commission?
Independent.
You know, first of all, let us start
for
here.
at least Semuju talking about Mavati.
Let us start from
those
here.
sagas.
You know, NRM has the biggest number of MPs in parliament.
Yes,
if
that
they
one
don't
we
support you, will your motion pass?
But you
Will you
say it
table
was
anything?
not about
But now-
numbers.
Will it
Okay.
pass?
But now,
Sometimes you have to reconcile and know that I have the
means
list.
because Mao is with the Museveni.
Let us agree that we need the NRM.
Will the DP?
What
if
I want
you,
us
if you
to
bring
agree
out
now,
what you want, will it be passed because you have the list number in parliament?
Madam, let us harmonize that we need the majority. Do we need NRM? Because it has the majority in parliament.
But we
and that is why legislation
if it
takes
has
place.
the majority, what is the quality of the majority?
Apparently,
we are going
Uganda,
back to ensuring that the needs of the persons, the reason as to why they are voting you back into offices, is to represent their needs.
Now let me tell you.
Representing their needs?
Becky, let me tell you. With the NRM and the parliament that we have at the moment, it's not even about the quality. It's about the quantity.
Really?
It's about the few individuals that we have in parliament and can do something important. And we must, of course, by all means, you must get the other quantity to get what you want. That we must agree. That you need a Sebamala in parliament, or you need the Semuju, or you need the Cecilia Ogwal. Not even a Semuju is not even among the people that are going to table anything important. No, I love Semuju, by the way. I am on record. We need a Cecilia Ogwal in parliament. You know, so that
you need Mama
the
Mavila.
cream. You know, yes, the
Mama
cream
Mavila,
that we have
shifted to NRM.
The cream that we have should table something important and get the quantity to support. But you cannot be there, even if, you know, you can be there an individual when you're very wise, but as long as you're in the majority that will overshadow you, it doesn't make sense at all. So
what's the fate of democracy in this country if we are having the opposition join, you know, the ruling government, and then the other opposition party is fighting, then the other opposition party is also trying to mobilize itself? What's the fate of democracy in this country? Is it still the Democratic Party, the Forum for
Democratic Change?
What's the face of democracy in this country, sincerely?
Uganda is not a democratic country.
Okay. But so, you call yourselves Democratic Party? Because
we are a party, not a country. The only country that we have here is Uganda.
So you are advancing democratic values?
We are advancing democratic values, but we are not a country. So our role is to make sure that we shed light to Ugandans that democracy can actually reign here in Uganda, in this country. So I think the face of democracy here, the problems that we have apparently are faced by any country that has such political parties. And it is you know, conflicts are very important and very normal in a democratic process. You cannot have a, it's called Ingambanyenka. You cannot be that. You must have people who are willing to, you know, the water must boil. You know, so the water must boil and then come back down and level up. So and that is how political parties are supposed to you know, perform. There must be conflict, and we believe that conflicts should come up with a solution that will do something good for the party. For example, I believe there must be a lot of lessons to learn from this conflict that is taking place in FDC. Not only for FDC, but for us all, for democracy, for a democracy, a democratic country. What is happening in FDC is very important for all of us, even in our families, actually. Because we are going to learn from all that process of where do you get the money from? I cannot answer. People need not to be mentioned, you know. So it is all good for our democratic dispensation.
How can we as women, because I understand that the fights are there, but we also understand the vulnerability that women face in these spaces. I don't even know how you do it, and for me, I can tell you, I respect you. When you are in politics and you're a woman, it is a very dirty ground, and patriarchy has taught women to behave a certain way, to not be rough on people. But then you're out there hustling it out, and I can tell you, I respect you people and what you do, because personally, I wouldn't want that chaos. But how do we ensure that we as women, despite our different political affiliations, come together to advance the women's agenda, the women's needs? Because we know that when you educate a woman, you educate the whole nation. If we represent as women the needs of our children, the needs of the grassroots person, we get to see that there are things, that outcomes, advocacy and lobbying, the better outcomes. We get to see more women are accessing the parish development model funds, emyoga funds. How then do you all sit together as maybe a women's movement to be able in politics to demand for women's needs? As you put the fights aside.
I think before that, women need to be empowered. Women are not empowered in different political parties. For example, I would speak for FDC. In these elections that we are going through, we have women's league, but Nandala and his group have put it aside. They have not followed what they are supposed to follow, because we had to elect women leaders who are supposed to represent others in the delegates conference, but he left that one aside. I did not mind about it. He's doing his own things. Women are trying to fight hard in FDC and are like, please, women, we need our representatives to represent us in the delegates conference. And it's like, that one will come later. We are not empowered. Women need to be sensitized. When women ask for their rights, actually most women's, maybe in Uganda maybe and somewhere elsewhere, they do not know their rights. They do not know that they have to fight for their rights. I think they do not know about women emancipation. They should be told about it. They need to know that, no, maybe when I raise my voice, government will come to my rescue. For example, we have seen different mothers dying of while giving birth in this country. Mama kit is about, I don't know, I think maybe 30,000 to 20 or 50. It cannot go beyond 50,000. But there are people dying out there giving birth who cannot afford even buying that mama kid. But if we as women in different
politics,
yes, in politics, if we can raise our voices, if we can sensitize these women that, you know what, there is this money that government collects. Where does this money go? We have government hospitals. At least mama kits should be provided to these hospitals so that these mothers who are not capable of buying these mama kits can find them there instead of losing their children. We need to be sensitized. We need to sensitize different mothers, different women, different political parties, and also empower different women in our political parties.
Thank you so much. Helen, what can we as women, especially for you women in politics, do to ensure that women's voice, women's needs are addressed? Because these fights, for me, I believe when we have these fights, they do not benefit the local woman. But also when these fights are happening at political party level, we can argue and have, but when we know that it hinders women's growth in leadership, when these fights are happening between the men. So how do we take advantage of the fact that these fights are happening for us as women to bring ourselves together and, advance the women's agenda,
Women generally are mothers, and we expect them to be solution-oriented. And I really want to thank the women that started the women's movement that has yielded, and apparently we have at least some women who are out there and representing us in different positions. For example, our cabinet now has some good number of women.
Yeah, I remember we advocated for that
Yeah,
to
you
happen.
know, we advocated for that, and you know, even we had a discussion about the effectiveness.
Yeah.
So I believe it should start with the effectiveness. We should first question whether the little that we have there is being effective before we can ask even for more. I believe that's where our conversation should mainly focus as
But
women.
aren't we giving so much pressure on these women? They've just gotten into leadership. You know, we don't do that with the men, but we put the pressure on the women.
Yeah, the pressure should be there because they are the face of the whole gender, you know. So we must put them on pressure. We cannot manage to even sit back for a minute. We must put them on pressure to work so hard because they are the representation that we have there. They are our faces. The more they work hard and put something on table, the more women will be brought up and will be voted because we are in a democratic movement where we are the people are being voted. It's not an appointment thing, you know.
Yeah.
So they must work very hard and put something on table for to just encourage people to continue voting women. And I'm really so happy with some women in parliament who have not sat down but who have really done some great work in terms of representing us out there. Yeah.
Like
and
who?
and I do not want to
To mention one.
yes, I do not want to mention names because at some point I was getting disappointed when most of the names of the Mavati saga were female. I was really.
But compared to the men, you
can
saw that
easily say
the
like
women
Nabanja.
returned the Mavati. But when the men were called, the men did not return.
This is a societal role and a societal bias that we must deal with, of course.
Men did not return, but they
generally
were
women are not known to be thieves.
Women rarely take, and even when the president just shook them a little bit, they returned. We need
You
to
know,
give
women
credit
are
where
not
it's
supposed
due.
to be thieves. So the moment you steal for one moment and a woman, it will be out there like no other person did. There are things we do not expect women to do. So if you do what we do not expect you to do, you know, even us women were out lashing on them. I was one of the bitter people, even on Twitter. So we must deal with the question of representation, its effectiveness. I was also very disappointed in the female the MP Youth Kampala Chirabo Central when she said that when she had debate about
Pads.
diapers and what. I was very disappointed. So we must work out on the issue of effectiveness before we can even ask for more.
Yeah.
We must work out on the issue of effectiveness, of effective representation, and work towards even making the little number that we have better. Because I believe for now the gospel has really gotten somewhere. The gospel about women representation has really gotten somewhere. Now we are waiting for the yields. We're waiting for the fruits of the conversations on the gospel.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Helen. One of the things that I wanted us to hit on is, as women and as we advocate for those that we shouted to have them out there, is how best can we utilize the spaces that we are in, especially for in politics, to ensure that we do not bring other women down, especially on the part of overstaying in, because you political parties tend to say, oh, the president has overstayed in power. But the women on affirmative action seats are still using these seats, yet there are other women. And when you see the younger women come up, you want them down. So how best as we as women not become what we are fighting? Not become, I think for me, I don't like it when people are so radical in politics. How do we make sure that we are not what we are saying we don't want to be?
I believe we need a goodwill there. At some point, I thought we needed a term limit on the legislation.
The affirmative action
on the affirmative action seats, because we've had some women who have been statically in one position, female MP for all that long. So we need a legislation about that so that we can have a woman shift to another seat. And I appreciate people who are on direct seats like Numbers. Really, that is something that is very good. But we also have some women who have failed to completely shift to any other side, and they keep, because they've made their names, we cannot have even a young person come out there. So there must be some goodwill. Our people must realize that the more they keep in one place, the more they are suffocating their movement. So they must have the goodwill to shift that. If you spend, for example, 2 terms on a female seat, you should shift and go to another seat. Why should you really be static on this position? Before we get into a legislation, I believe we should talk about having the goodwill as women. And I believe this shouldn't be a hard conversation. It should really be an easy conversation for us as women if we are talking about having many women in the space.
Thank you, Helen. Joanne, do you believe that the president has prioritized women in leadership? As a member of FDC, it's good to give credit where it's due. Do you believe that the president of the Republic of Uganda has prioritized the needs of women in politics?
To some extent.
To some extent.
Yes, he
What
has.
percentage can we give him?
Oh my God, I think I can give him 25.
25?
Yes, I can give him that. I think it started when he started considering electing his vices they are women. At that point, I give him credit for that. And people like Nabanja, you see, he's considering them. At least I can say we are represented. I can say, yes, he considered us. Yes.
Because his cabinet is full of women.
Yeah.
There are those that are performing and there are those that, okay, they need a little bit of pulling. But what are you as political parties doing to empower women in leadership as the FDC sincerely?
Like I said, empowering women, we need to sensitize our fellow women.
What are you doing as the FDC to empower women in leadership?
I live exemplarily. I tell them, if, like, for example, when prices went up, I led the team and we went on streets and we told the government, no, Mr. President, we could not even afford buying tomato. One tomato went up to 1,000 shillings. And you know, men in this country, they no longer leave Kameza
Money
for us. They don't. So if a man has not left money for you, he cannot even afford fueling his car. The neighbor's child is crying, yawning the all night. Man, the only thing I can do, as if this is what we do, we go on streets and we show our
dissatisfaction.
dissatisfaction.
Yes.
But we also know going on streets is one of the reasons as to why women don't want to join politics, because I just don't know, if you're on the streets and then you get beaten.
They are there. Those women, let me give you information. These ladies are there and they tell us, you know what, as we cannot manage that one. Please go. We are going to support you in any way. We know those ones who cannot go, they stay, but they appreciate what we do. Yes.
I appreciate that you're willing to be a fierce person. But for that woman that cannot go there and that is dissatisfied, what other avenues can they use?
The avenues they can use.
Because we cannot always say that everybody will be at the forefront.
We have women leaders in our areas, right from the village level, parish levels. Of course, these leaders talk to them. They encourage them. They motivate them. They are our women leaders.
Okay, thank you so much. Helen, what is the DP doing to empower women in politics, women in leadership, that would, for a young woman out there, that would encourage her to join politics or leadership spaces?
One thing that DP has studied very well is the other challenges that are affecting women in politics. And in our study, we discovered that issues to do with sexual harassment were really affecting women so much in politics. And that is why we developed the policy against sexual harassment. So it is one of the tools that are there to help women in politics, that if you in DP, be rest assured of security in terms of that line. So we have a policy against sexual harassment in our party. It is very well adopted and working. so that you're very well assured. And also worked out to have a gender policy in our party, and those are issues to deal with the space, to giving women space, how we're supposed to deal with women issues. So those are some of the things that we as DP has really worked so hard to make sure we put in place. And we also believe that that is one of the alternatives that we are really willing to give to the government, that if we took over power, women would have space in this country. And we believe that such policies can help in giving security to the women. You know, women really fear being in spaces where they are not secure enough. So
Yeah.
we worked out on that, and apparently our women are very secure and safe in the space of Democratic Party.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, John. I'll conclude with you. What are you as women in FDC going to do to ensure that these conflicts are resolved, so that people don't just get out of the FDC say, kavuyo, get it? What are you going to do?
Of course, women leaders, we already have a discussion with our leaders in the FDC, and they are trying all their best to make sure that this conflict is resolved. They are trying their best to make sure that it does not burst, like Ellen said, my colleague. So we are trying all our best. We talk to these leaders, we talk to them. We want them to come to an understanding, and we are sure we shall come to one answer. Okay. And we shall all agree.
We'll wait for that.
We as women, we are trying our level best.
I hope the voice can be heard so that we can have the FDC back.
Yes.
Well, thank you for joining us today. I am Chetunga Rebecca Juna, and want to thank the President, because when we made a call to him as women that we need women in legislative in big, powerful positions in government, he was able to hear us and gave us women to take up these positions. And I would like to remind women in leadership or women in politics that as he gave you those positions, please go out there and shine, so that we can be able to pull up other women and challenge the status quo. And as men are fighting in these political parties, take the opportunity and take the leadership opportunity, so that we can know and address the women's needs, the young girl needs, and also to show the image to other young women that, you know what, you can be a good leader, you can be a good politician. Till next time, bye-bye.